A little bit about me. First and foremost, I'm a father of two. I have a daughter in college. We were just talking about this at the University of Kentucky. She is there to be a band director. That's what she wants to do. So yeah, music. There we go. So I will first of all start off with saying thank you, because of people like you, my daughter is living her best life. She wants to join the ranks in which you are. She wants to be an educator. She's majoring in music ed. She's going to be spending this summer in Austria doing study abroad, for that. She is up there, yeah, exactly. She is up there on academic and band scholarships. Just this weekend, they had the spring, blue-white game, football. The marching band, she's one of the section leaders. Marching band performed. Yesterday was the welcoming of a new basketball coach. In Kentucky, football's not king like it is here. It's basketball. So Rupp Arena, which holds 20-something thousand people, they had to turn people away. Over 5,000 people got turned away because they filled it. Just to welcome a new basketball coach. Yeah, I know, it was crazy. So, she is literally living her best life up there. And it's because of people like you who inspired her to do these things. So thank you for what you do. My son, on the other hand, yeah, he doesn't really care for school. He likes lunch and athletics. That's it. And so, he has no desire. Like, here's the deal for me. I grew up in law enforcement. My dad was in law enforcement. His dad was in law enforcement. People used to say, you're going to be, this mind you, 1970s. People used to say, you're going to be a pig like your daddy. All this stuff. And I went, no, but heck no, I'm not going to be a cop. Fast forward, I became a cop. But I can remember back in high school, I remember my friends talking and saying things like, our senior year, like, oh yeah, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to be a teacher, blah, blah, blah. And I literally said these words. Why would you ever want to step back and put us inside of school again? Why? And then fast forward again, not only am I a cop, I'm a cop in the schools. So that crow tastes really good, y'all. Okay? So again, I appreciate what y'all do. Y'all actually inspired me. I actually looked at retiring from the PD to become a teacher and a coach. But at the time, my kids were still young. My son's the athlete. My daughter, as we know, is the artsy one. And I wanted to follow him every year, and I know I couldn't do that. So I stayed at the PD, and then I ended up Youth Services Commander at Arlington PD. So I ended up as Youth Services Commander in my last assignment. So I was over all the school resource officers, all of the youth initiatives, all the community education components, community outreach, all that kind of stuff. So I'm embedded with the district at this point. I'm doing tabletop exercises for administrators and all this kind of stuff. Dr. Cavazos and them are there. And it just led to this position came open, and they talked me into retiring and coming over. So this is my 6th school year here with the district. And so just know that everything we do when it comes to emergency management, school safety, everything else is embedded on, first and foremost, being a father. What is best for our kids? That is why we're here, right? Is to provide a safe environment for our kids. Number one, no offense to you. Number one is our kids. That's our number one responsibility. Number two is who? Y'all. Number 2. 3 is the parents and visitors. They're on their own. They get one chance. No, seriously, we go into lockdown, there's something going on. If they just hesitate, they don't listen, they're on their own. They're choosing to be here. Kids have to be here. Y'all have to be here. We're taking care of us. You give them one opportunity to lock down or whatever, they don't do it, they're on their own. We're not going to sit and argue. We're not going to wait. We're going to do what we got to do, okay? So understand that is our priority order. Kids number 1, us close number 2, and then the parents and visitors that are here. So, how many of y'all know where our emergency operations plan is located? And you can be honest. If you don't know, that's fine. Okay. Emergency operations plan. Complete. We hide nothing from you. Everything is at your fingertips.
And the security tracker part, right?
Security tracker is something totally different.
Oh, it's
No, I'm talking about the full emergency operations plan. No, I'm talking about the actual plan that we do for y'all. Like all the lace, response matrix, everything.
Yes, the
So-
QR code on your badge. She's a wonderful principal and gave us all where to find them.
Got it? There we go. All right.
I don't have one of those.
I don't,
Watch
I never
over
have
and
one of
go,
those
you know?
either. I always have mine in my badge.
So, all right, here we go.
Our principal
So
doesn't
when you
like
pull
it.
up AISD.net, you go to the district website, AISD.net. Go to the intranet. Over here, or you'll see the staff favorites, okay? You don't have to look for security department, just go to staff favorites. Security resources. And it pulls up right there. See me, the ugly mug over there on the left? Where's my, there. Now, scroll down. Everything you need to know. All of our command staff's on here. All of this stuff, everything about who is who when it comes to security operations. You know, you're down in the south sector. Mike Nunley is currently y'all's commander for this area. Lieutenant Nunley. Many of y'all might know him if you've been around a while. Can't miss him. So here's some stuff about planning. This is important. As y'all know, ever since Uvalde, all exterior doors, and this has been in our policy a long time before, since before that occurred, should be fully locked and secure at all times, unless a staff member is assigned to watch that door as their only duty. It can't be, hey, you know what, we're gonna let kids over here at this door, but I've got to come into my classroom to get something, or hey, I've got to go watch this, or what's going on. No. That's your only duty. It's the only time it can be left unlocked and unsecured, or I won't say unlocked. It still needs to be locked, but unsecured. During that time, you shall not escort students or visitors or otherwise leave the duty station, and you must be equipped with a portable radio so that you can communicate to everybody. Okay, that's it. That's the only time anybody in the district is allowed to be at a door without it being locked and shut. Okay, we want this to be Fort Knox without looking like Fort Knox. Nobody gets in or out. Too many times, and I'm going to say some things today for your ears only. We do not disclose this in public. We do not talk about this. You know, y'all just saw what happened in Dallas. You know, what was that, Friday?
Wilmer.
Yeah, Wilmer Hutchins over there. Friday. And so, yeah, there was a student who was shot. Now, I'm going to tell you this right now. There's nothing we can do to 100% guarantee that will never happen. Two of the most secure places of what I would consider, at least in the United States, one being Fort Knox, you mentioned that. What would you think would be one of the second most, what was I heard? White House. In our lifetime, folks, we have had people force their way in, get shot. Not only is there fence all the way around, there are armed guards all the way around it. There are snipers on the roof. There are other people walking around with guns. There are dogs. There are everything you can imagine, and people still do it. Where there's a will, there's a way, unfortunately. What we are trying to do is mitigate the damages, mitigate the opportunities so that they can't get in here. This is one of those things I'm going to tell you. In all these active school shooters, we study every one of them. Nobody has breached a locked classroom yet. Virginia Tech, Sandy Hook. Sandy Hook's kind of one of the first starting ones that got us to lock at all of our doors because the teacher, her and her keys were found there at the door. Her students were the ones that were tied because she could not get the key into the door to get it locked. So my predecessors came up with the idea of we'll keep our doors locked at all times. So you wonder why we just have a magnet and your doors must remain locked? That's it. Sandy Hook. Specifically Sandy Hook. You want to know why we do reverse evacuation when you go out in a fire drill, why you have to come back in here as quick as possible, get back into your room and make sure you're accounted for as a reverse evacuation? Jonesboro, Arkansas. If you don't know about that one, that was where two students were active shooters, but what they decided to do is get everybody out of the building by pulling the fire alarm and attack the kids when they came outside. So not only do you get out, this is why we tell you, you know, since I've been here, leave the magnets in the door so that when you get out, you can get back into your room as fast as you can get out of it. When you hear a fire alarm go off out of the blue, don't immediately just start getting, oh, let's go outside, y'all. No, listen. We're going to talk about the lace and that part of it as to what we mean by that here in a minute. But there's a lot of things that we do that's engraved or ingrained, I should say. Being a father, law enforcement, we brought in military, emergency management, EMS, fire, everybody. We have a lot of people, staff, people who've worked in the classrooms, are a part of this emergency planning that we do. Everything is done for a reason. I don't get opportunities like this to tell you face to face, and no offense to our administration in here or anywhere else, but you ever played that game, telephone? I start here, she passes around, by the time it's around over here, it's changed, right? It's different. And it's not that anybody intentionally or maliciously did it, but it changes. And so whenever I present things, by the time it makes it down to everybody, things get lost in translation. So I love these opportunities. So truly, thank you. I did try to get it catered with caviar and steak. I did ask. I did ask. So, but no, I love to be here. So thank you for your attention. I'm gonna start picking up the pace here in a second. But I just want you to know where all this is, so that you can see it. Because like I say, we don't hide this from you. Every one of you have access. So we have our emergency operations plan, everything to deal with our reunification, drills, the magnets, Omnigo, which is not for y'all, it's just for your administrators for reporting, InformaCast. And I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit, so that you can be notified of a lockdown, or you can actually put the lockdown, for the campus. What's the one thing you always have with you? Phone. You will turn around and go home to get your phone, right? You won't do it for your computer. Some of you won't even do it for your kids, but you will for your phone, right? We have become so dependent. What do you take to the bathroom with you most of the time? Your phone. You go to the doctor, you leave here, you got a doctor's appointment. You want to know what you're walking back into. If your campus is in lockdown, you'd like to know. When I first came to the district, that's one of the things I noticed is like, people would come in, their badges would work, and they'd walk right in, we're doing a drill. And they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. I said, you're right, it's not your fault. You didn't know. We got to do a better job of that. So now we have InformaCast, but that's still not good enough. So we're working on now, they're going district or campus by campus installing strobes on the exterior of the building. So you have a visual. So if you're out for PE, you're coming back to the campus, you're a walker, you're a parent driving up, you see the strobes flashing, don't come to the campus. There's something going on. Go somewhere else and then call and find out, or wait, look up on the security tracker, see what's happening. So we're trying to continue doing what we do and expand. So there's a lot of things behind the scenes that we do. But I can't say enough about InformaCast. Please, this is not a big brother. We're not watching anything you do. We're not tracking anything. I promise you, I can barely keep up with myself. I can't keep up with anybody else. So this is not that. This is not a group text. This isn't one of those, oh, hey, I'm running late. Can you pick up breakfast? Or I'm going to get breakfast. Anybody want? Nope, it's not. It's one-way communication. This is not, GroupMe or anything else. This is strictly pushing out to you emergency information, as well as you being able to lock the school down, put it in shelter, do whatever you need to do. But all this stuff is on here. Raptor visitor management procedures and everything on here, fire drills, the vape detection we have at secondary campuses, video insight for administrators and those who have access to the cameras. Everything's here. All the stuff is here for you. But this is the most important, our emergency operations plan. There we go.
He didn't need a rapid ID.
He has his own.
Okay. Yada yada, all this stuff. Here's some important things we recently added. What we do is called layered security, right? There are levels. Your building is the first level. We don't have gates and stuff like that out there, armed guards, the gates you have to scan, get through, we don't have that. So our first line of defense are the doors. The building itself is your first line of defense, right? So we use a layered security approach, incorporating both physical and technology-based security solutions and best practices. Like I say, everything's ingrained in emergency management background from multiple disciplines. We are required to follow the employee handbook and the board policy regarding our safety protocols and everything else in the EOP. Exterior doors and windows shall be locked, secure, closed, everything at all times, except as laid out in here. We already talked about that a while ago. The red thing that I read, that it must do that unless you're there and that's your only duty, you gotta have radio, all that stuff. That's the only exception. Interior classrooms are the same way. Interior classrooms and doors must, interior classroom and office doors must follow the same process, because that's your lockdown area. That's where you're going to lock down. Not all rooms have a closet. But see, here's the problem with a room like this. If that side is vacant and the door's propped, where's the weakness over here? This door, it's gotta be locked. Now, does it open from both sides, or is it only open from one? That's another question we gotta figure out.
It opens for both.
Both? Okay, can it be locked from either side? So you have to have a key though,
It's
either
have
way.
a key to open it.
Unless you, okay, so good, that's perfect, that's what we look for. So that this person over here can make sure it's locked. And so I can be locked in here, and my kids can be out of sight. Because that's what everything's based on here. So this is a good setup. We have to change it. We check these when we come out and do our drills. Is we have these adjoining rooms, are they set up that way? Because before, there was some, I can open it from that side, but I can't open it from this side. You know, a tight deal, so we want to make sure. But these are your lockdown areas. So if we have to deviate, because we've had this, hey, we've had ACs out. We gotta have airflow. We can't have these doors, they don't stay propped open enough with that magnet because it's pretty much closed. It's only for student management being in and out without interrupting you. That's why we allow the magnets. Because we want it shut and locked at all times. From a security standpoint, I'll just say it. We want it shut and locked at all times. Because the less things I can have you do in emergency, the better. Because if you've got this is only one of 4 key rings that I carry for the district. So if I've got to figure out which key this is in emergency, you know, I could right now toss you a set of keys and say, go figure out which one it is. And I could just stand there and say, come on, let's go, get it quick, come on, hurry. I'm thinking, let's go, come on. You're not even in danger, and you're going to be like, oh my God. Which one is it? Oh my gosh. And I'm going to be just right there in your face like a drill sergeant, you know, and you're going to be trying to get it in the hole, it's the wrong one. And think about it's a life-threatening emergency. Think about gunshots. You're hearing this, you're hearing the screams and everything else. That's what happened in Sandy Hook. That's what happened. This is why we change it. People want to know, well, why can we always got to have the door like this? So that in an emergency, the first thing that goes is fine motor skills. You don't have fine motor skills in something like that. It's gone. Trust me. I've been there when the shots have been fired at us, and I've been there when we've done the shooting. When you have these emergencies, things change if you're not here, mentally. So the way I always talk, and I harp on this, number 1, train your brain. 2, practice with purpose. Train your brain. We used to not have to think about this. Hey, what if I'm sitting in Luby's in Killeen, Texas in 1985 and somebody drives a little Ford Ranger pickup through the front glass and opens fire with a gun? Hey, what if I'm sitting in Wedgwood Baptist Church in 1997? Hey, what if I'm in Columbine High School in 1999? Hey, what if I'm and the list goes on and on and on. What am I going to do? I can tell you right now what I'm going to do. I know exactly what I'm going to do. We heard shots fired in the building right now. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I know exactly where my escape routes are. I know everything else. When I go to a restaurant, my family knows, let daddy pick where he's going to sit first. Because I will tell you, I'm off duty. I carry everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. I don't care if it's church. I don't care if it's restaurant, mall, everywhere I go. And it's not because, oh, you're cool, you think you're cool carrying it. No, it's for your protection. It's for my family's protection. Ultimately, it's also going to be for my protection. But here's the deal. My family knows. If something ever happens, you go with mom. I will meet up with you later. And if I go and I don't make it back, then my family knows that's the way it is. That was my destiny. But here's the deal. I'm not going to do something stupid. I'm very tactically sound. I'm very capable. I'm confident in my abilities because I've trained myself. Mentally, physically, and everything else, I am ready. If it happens, it happens. No matter where it's at. And that's such as life. But that's that survival mindset you have to be in. When we go, and we'll talk about lace lockdown in a minute, we talk about lockdown and the combat part. We're not talking about, oh, I just don't like somebody. We're talking about survival for you and the kids in your charge. That's the mindset. I will win. I will go home. That is my mindset. This used to be my saying is, you get one shot, literally, one shot to take me out. Otherwise, you're gonna have 300 pounds of pissed off country up your backside. Okay? Because that's my mindset. Because I'm from the backwoods, y'all. And so I need it. You make me choose between my life and yours, there's no choice. I'm going home. I'm gonna do whatever it takes. But remember, you put us in this situation. I didn't. I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna jeopardize or cause any problems. That's just the way I am. You put us in that situation. It's your repercussions. So again, layered security approach. This is why we do a lot of the things we do. If we're gonna have any deviation, it's gotta be approved by Chris Gint, myself, or Dr. Hill. That's it. Any deviations. All right, visitors. All visitors need to be screened. Doesn't matter if you know them. Oh, hey, Mr. Jones, how are you today? You here to eat lunch with Sally? You know them, but at least greet them. Because every day, Mr. Jones will be like, oh yeah, hey, how are y'all? That's good. Then all of a sudden one day you're doing this and Mr. Jones goes, yes. Now I'm gonna say it, sorry, we're outnumbered guys, I'm gonna say it. Women are smarter than us. Okay, I'm just saying it, I'm throwing it out there. I said it, yes, I said it. Women are smarter. It's called women's intuition. Not men preaching, not men's. Achievement, whatever it may be in us, oh nah, we don't listen to it. If that hair stands up in the back of your neck, something's not right, go with it. Especially when it comes to safety and security of your campus. Go with it, right? So if Mr. Jones all of a sudden has a totally different attitude, totally different dress, he's carrying something he doesn't normally have, anything that you see, this is why we use our A-phones, our camera buzzer systems, to screen our guests. I can't tell you how many times I've just seen it. You hear they go off, just let them in. No questions, no asks, no nothing. It's seen too many times. There's actually a video on the, it's out actually on YouTube. The district did, Micah Green did a phenomenal job of acting in it that goes over the A-phone usage. It's like a 5-minute video. Go watch it. Because remember, visitor management is on the emergency operations plan where all that stuff's located. Go in there and watch that video and it'll show you for those of you who work in the front office around anywhere around that area.
But you can only spend so much time on a screen, sir. Because the phone ring is ringing, a lot of things are coming.
Well, I understand
So
that.
I can't, we'll do the best that we can in the offices, to say hello if we recognize moms and dads, but a lot of times, yes. If the phone is ringing and I have somebody else that I'm already talking to on the phone, and I got students in front of me, and I have a parent trying to pull their child out, and it's all on me, yeah,
Oh, no, I'm not, like I said, I'm not pulling you out. This is just district-wide.
well,
No, this is nothing on you.
because
But
it's a training.
those parents can wait. Okay? Like I say, your priority is what's already in the building before we let anybody else in. Yes, ma'am.
I have a question. So like,
Okay.
if the only way really for Miss Julie to really know is if, I mean, obviously if they're coming in with like a huge like automatic rifle, I mean, whatever. But if they just have like a gun, that's the only first checkpoint. They just buzz in and they just go straight to the office and then it's open to the building, right? So that's the only, that
So-
initial buzzing into the building is the only like protection layer piece that we have, right?
So I don't know how this one's set. Do you have to buzz them to get into the building here yet?
Into the building and then the inside door too.
So, yeah, so-
And people get on their phones, walking and standing halfway there, and unless I keep pushing, and
Yeah.
I'm pulling the phone because I'm on the line,
Yeah.
they, and then as soon as I let go, then they decide to open the door. So it's,
But like I said, here's the deal. If a parent doesn't follow y'all's protocols, that's a con to the principal and the AP and everybody else that they're not gonna follow. We will support you in letting the people, the parent know, follow our protocols. And if they wanna throw a fit, they can throw that fit with me. I'll gladly meet with them. Because I'll explain to them, I'll show them Wilma Hutchins. I'll show them Uvalde. I'll show them all these other reasons why we do what we do. So if they disrespect you, please, by all means, invite
it's
me.
not about disrespect, it's about, it's not like they're talking about people.
Sure. And no, if they're not following your policy procedure that you're trying, please let us know. We'll address it with them. I'll help you out with that. But like I say, we want to make sure, like I said, you'll get to know who your parents are that come regularly. I mean, honestly, you do. It's always the first of the year, things like that. There are times where it's more challenging.